Hey, what's up everybody? This is BS for Build. I'm Chris. We're here in the backyard where it all started. This is where we built the Plan A BRZ, and now it's kind of the corner of neglected cars in my life. This episode, I wanted to make a quick episode just to say thank you guys for all the support. At the end of every episode, I ask you guys, support by buying shirts, key tags, hats, all that jazz. And I want to show you guys what some of that goes to, what we actually do with that when we have some funds in the little BS for Bank account and what we do. But before we get into exactly those different things, I just wanted to show you guys some of the cars that you support. And a couple of those are right behind me. So in the backyard, I guess we'll just jump right into it. We have the S2000, behind me we have the 68 Camaro, and then we have that Mustang that I'm always talking about. Now let's jump into a little bit more detail about these cars. Alright, so this is my S2000 that I at least cleaned recently, and I've been driving it a little bit recently, not a ton, but it works just fine. It's a great little car. I really like it. So I drive it, I don't know, a couple times a month, I would say. It's definitely not my daily right now. But everything's working really well with this car. It's going to need a new clutch in the next, I don't know, year or 2 years, I don't know. And kind of thinking of other things that I want to do with it. But it's kind of, for the most part, it's done. So I don't know if anybody's got any ideas. It's kind of just a car that I'm collecting, and that's why not a lot happens with it. Speaking of collecting, here's my other collector car. Don't mind the parts and bits on the ground. These are just leftovers from Plan A. Like, there's side skirts from the Plan A and stuff like that. Anyways, this is my 68 Camaro that I bought on the BS for Build road trip. After we got it home, we did some work on it, and then it really hasn't gone many places. A lot of the reason for that is the weather's been terrible. The car cover got blown off of it. You can see there was a car cover down there. And so it's waiting for the weather to turn around and for it to get its own little spot in the shop for us to finish this car. There's not a lot that needs to be done with it. The engine needs a tune-up, transmission needs a tune-up. The interior has got some mold problems because these cars, the windows were put in by a gorilla in this one, and so I need to pull all the glass out, redo the glass, and get upgraded seals all around. But this car's close to being done, daily drivable, but it's not quite there. And then we have the Mustang, stacks of tires. I'm starting to collect a lot of stacks of tires. That's kind of interesting. Wheels and tires. Got 2 sets of extra BRZ wheels and tires. So we have the Mustang. This is a 2007 Mustang GT that we are going to be bringing into the channel and working on full time really soon here. I guess in the last video that I talked about it, I didn't really make it specific enough. This car runs. This car is totally fine. I pulled the starter out of it because I was working on some engine stuff. Looking forward to doing engine mods, but yeah, it runs, and we could have it running in like a day, but this is a power mods car. We definitely want to put a lot of serious power down with this car, so that's the plan for this. As soon as we get it in the shop, make it look cool, make it go fast, those types of things. Alright, let's move over to the BRZ. Alright guys, excuse the wind, but we are back over to the BRZ. So this is the Plan B BRZ. The Plan A is over at the shop. So this is the Plan B, and this was my daily driver until that happened to the front of it. And now it's been parked and kind of collecting dirt, and the battery's dead. But so this is waiting its line in the shop. So the front grill's all popped out, unfortunately, and that happened. So why did that happen? Okay, it's a combination of me being dumb and someone else being dumb, which is a really common problem. So when I was painting this car, I scuffed up the whole car with Scotch-Brite, but I think I had the bumper off of the car at the time, and it was sitting there somewhere in the shop, and I forgot to scuff it up. So when you look at this orange paint right here, it's like factory, shiny, glossy, and so when I sprayed over it, it wasn't scuffed up enough, and it didn't give anything for the paint to adhere to. So the rest of the entire car is fine. When I was doing its first road trip down to California, when it rained, I noticed that some little rock chips started forming, and everybody that was at the car show and stuff could kind of see those. And we all knew it was like bad news, so the bumper needed to be resprayed. But I was driving around, daily driving it, having a blast anyways, and just waiting for time to free up room in the shop. And then I live close to a college, and some college kid just backed into the car, blasted a bunch of the paint off of the front of there, and that's when I wrapped that up and said, yeah, enough's enough. I'm gonna stop driving this car until it can go in the shop. So we are not done with this car. There's a couple more things I want to do with it, but for sure we need new brakes and rotors in the front, and we need to respray the front bumper cover, and a couple small mods to the door. the door needs to be, so see this panel gap right here, we need to make that a little bit smaller so we can have less panel, or more panel gap over here, and it's like kind of chipping off some paint over here. We don't want that to happen anymore, so we gotta respray over here, respray the front bumper, and move the door a little bit forward, which will be really simple. And then I can be back to daily driving this beast, which I love doing, and that's really, really fun. So, since we've talked about that, let's go over to what I've been daily driving. Alright, so over here is my dirty ass daily driver. This is my Dodge Charger. This is just the workhorse that I've been putting in miles and miles and miles on this car. I've been too busy to get the tires changed. Look at how worn down that tire is. That's just because I haven't had time to stop and get the tires changed. It's got its own little set of problems, and it's basically up for sale at this time. I got like 3 cars that I can daily drive, and but this thing is huge, like I've talked about earlier. It's massive, so in the back of this I got all sorts of supplies for the shop, and I got all sorts of other great stuff, and that's why I keep daily driving it around, is because I can pack a ton of car parts in there and be able to get around from point A to point B. Alright, let's head over to the shop and I'll show you some more of the cars over there. Alright, so now we're over at the shop. It's a quick 20-30 minute drive from my house or work, and now we're over here, and I wanted to show you guys the rest of the cars we have here. So we have the Charger that I just drove, and then we have the Plan A BRZ. So the deal with the Plan A is it's a great little car. I don't know why I haven't been driving it more. You know, that's all it really comes down to. I should drive it more. It's got the automatic transmission that I don't like, and I haven't been driving it much, so it's got some dirt from the rain and some stuff from the trees. Great little car though, successful build. I kind of stripped out the interior and haven't put the back seats back in it, but the car works and runs just fine. We could start it up and take it for a drive anytime I feel like it, but I haven't. And really, it's waiting for a motor swap. I decided I wanted to do a 2JZ swap on this car, so I've really been shopping and looking for 2JZs. I'm looking for a full donor car, unless I can find a 2JZ GTE, I think it's GTE. I'm not sure the exact model number, but if I can find a turbo manual from Japan, then I will buy, you know, the crate motor. But if not, I want to buy a donor car and bring that in. That way I have the whole car that was running, and then we'll transfer it all over. So I'm really looking for the right motor before we start that motor swap project. But that's what's in store for this car, and then that will replace the Plan B as kind of a daily driver-ish car. But then hopefully the Lotus Evora will be done, and that'll be my daily driver as well. So I'll have like some cars to rotate through, the Camaro, the Evora, and the BRZ as cars to take to work or whatever I feel like doing with them. But the BRZ will also be, you know, if I decide to go rip it at a track, be it drifting or a time attack or just trying to learn how to drive faster, that'll definitely be a car that I'll be taking. The BRZ we talked about in yesterday's episode, and did I say BRZ? BMW, sorry. And that's right here. That's for sale on eBay right now for the next week. And when that's gone, that's gone. And then last but not least is our little project BRZ that we have over here. And this is just waiting to get its time to get a little breakdown. And so it's just covered up and safe and from the rain for now until we have time to look at that and start working on it. Rally build, Rally BRZ. All right, so that's it for cars. A couple people had asked me to do a up-to-date walk around, and that's the walk around. And like I said, this episode's all about saying thanks to you guys for supporting. And when you do support, you are helping me support keeping those cars running and keeping them here. If I didn't have the support, sometimes to get another car, I'd probably have to sell more cars. Although I know I should sell more cars. 9 cars is ridiculous. It's too many. And that's always the number where I'm like, okay, I got past 8. I'm gonna ratchet it back down. So like I said, the Charger's gonna be sold soon, and the BMW is for sale right now. So those 2 things are going out, and that's the only 2 cars I have planned to sell right now. The rest I'm planning on keeping, but who knows? Things might change in the future as we get more cars. So another thing that I wanted to show you guys and tell you guys about and say thank you very much for helping support and helping me get is this shop. We extended our lease for another 6 months, so we have another 6 months of shop, even though summer's gonna turn around and hopefully we'll be doing some work outside. Having this shop really enabled us to be able to work at night, and especially over the winter when nights are just shorter and shorter and shorter, and we can work in the rain and all sorts of other great stuff. We don't have to worry about it. If you guys remember when the channel started, we had no plans on even making it that far, so it started raining and snowing and stuff was just really hard, and we really weren't going to be able to make it without the shop. But it was you guys supporting, and when we got this shop, the support was amazing. When we got this shop, we made that quick little video about getting a shop, and we painted the wall and stuff. and holy shit, everybody started buying merchandise, and it was fucking amazing. It was amazing, and just that weekend and that week of support supported the shop for a long time, and it's continuing to go now. So we extended our lease another 6 months. We got this spot for at least another 6 months, and you know, if things keep going well, maybe someday we'll even extend and get a bigger shop, or maybe in a cooler location, or who knows. It doesn't really matter. This shop does all that I need thus far. And then that brings me into the next thing that I want to say thanks for is I took some of the money that we've made, some of the proceeds, and instead of spending it on car parts, I spent it on some tools so we can work on some of the car parts ourselves here a little bit better, either custom fabricating parts or just have the ability to work on the cars here. I'm not explaining this very well, sorry, but we got some more tools so we can have a little bit more of a machine shop. Colin Furr style. He's got this little shop and he's got a million little tools in there that will enable him to build pretty much anything. I need to do the car version of that. So a couple things that we got a drill press, we got a belt sander, disc sander, and a big ticket item was a TIG welder. We have a really cheapo MIG flux core welder that's 10 years old that I've been using for a lot of things. And TIG welder is something that was really important for me. So I got an AC/DC TIG welder so we can weld things like aluminum for the Lotus, and we can weld stainless steel and steel for things like exhaust and intakes and a lot of turbo systems, you know, to custom build all those turbo parts. We don't have to go out of the shop for that anymore. We got a TIG welder. So the next part of this episode, that bench over there is all just filled with beer cans and garbage and trash and everything. I'm gonna clean all that stuff off and set up the rest, all the new stuff that we got, and kind of create a little working space for working. All right, dudes, so you can see we got our new stuff set up here. We have our drill press, we got our belt sander that's got a flat disc space over here. So drill press obviously is good for drilling and pressing things. This is gonna be really good for sanding pipes and other stuff straight, and you can grind things down, make sharp edges and stuff like that. It's a sander, you guys know what that's for. And then we got our TIG welder over there from Eastwood. This is a TIG 200, it can do aluminum and steel and stainless steel. And I have never used one of these ever before in my life. I've seen it done once when I worked with Eric on that welded diff. So it's pretty exciting, and I'm really excited to try it out. So here's what I've decided to do. Because we got all this fun stuff, now I want to make something. I've grabbed these two spare, well, this is junk. This is a tool that I bought from Harbor Freight that just absolutely didn't work at all. And then this is some scrap metal. And I'm going to create, Colin Furr style, 2 killing weapons out of this scrap metal. Yep, I just want to build something, so I'm gonna build something. Aha! Killing tools are done. I've made a really terrible knife and a stabber. And I meant to use the welder, but it turned out we didn't need to use it. So now it's time to test these bad boys. Beer can, it is time to die. I call it the shotgun-o-matic. That worked out pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Except I'm covered in beer. Alright guys, well that was a lot of fun, but all goofiness aside, I really just wanted to say thank you all so much for supporting the channel and show you a little bit of where that goes when you do support it. If it's not going into a build, then it's going into kind of upgrading ourselves for areas like this, so when we run into the hard spots on making builds, we can get creative and we can make our own stuff, we can save money, and hopefully, you know, eventually maybe we can make something that other people haven't yet. I don't know if I'm that smart, but you know, maybe we could improve on the whole motorsport world in one little way someday. I don't think we're quite there yet, but someday we'll get there, and that'll be really, really fun. So thank you guys very much for all the support thus far. It's been amazing. I mean, just to have a roof over my head and have tools and have a shop and all this stuff, it's just so great. So thank you guys all so much for all the support. We're almost at 1 year. The channel's rolling around to 1 year in a couple months, and you know, cheers to many more years to come. Thank you guys so much. If you want to support, if you want to add some support to the channel, I'm gonna try and hook up a Patreon before this video is listed. So if you like doing Patreon, then hopefully that'll be on our channel. If not, we got shirts, we have hats, we have key tags, we have stickers, we got everything at our shop at bsforbuild.com. You can find the rest of our social media at facebook.com/bsforbuild, and we are bsforbuild on Instagram. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe. Peace.